Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and tomorrow is Election Day in the United States. And tonight, I'm finally going to finish up some baseball. Well, I don't know if I'm going to finish up baseball, but we've got one or two more games where if we lose, we're done for the season. And I can't tell you that I won't be disappointed I can't tell you that I will be too disappointed if we lose, because I'm tired. I'm ready to take a break. I mentioned it this morning. So David Schwartz, a couple of things. David Schwartz has kind of been on Twitter today, but one thing I'm noticing a lot of is I have people ask me this kind of stuff all the time. I'm seeing a lot of what people online call FUD, where you'll see people come in and try to take all kinds of swipes at XRP. And over the last 2 years, we've seen that often. A lot of times you see it when people are they're either the market's going down but usually, and this is what I think you're seeing right now, usually when you start seeing the people, they call them FUDsters or whatever, when these people start coming in and spreading fear about XRP and coming out of nowhere with all these things. And I'm seeing a lot of it, and you're seeing a lot of it, but usually when you see that, it's because it's at times when they feel like it's time for Bitcoin to go off. And a lot of these people are people who are Bitcoin maxis, and they just come out of the woodwork, because always remember, the greatest fear of a Bitcoin holder, because they know everybody who's a Bitcoin maxi, all of them, not some of them, they all know that it is a dinosaur. Bitcoin is a dinosaur technology. They know that XRP is faster and more scalable, and all the things Bitcoin is not, XRP is. That's why they attack it. Okay. If they really were concerned about something about XRP, you would see them doing the same write-up on Bitcoin, because they know all of its flaws, but they don't do that. And so when you see these things, you just have to understand, you wouldn't be attacked if you weren't the best. That's the way life works. So I'll show you an example of that here in a sec. First, David Schwartz. Love that crypto is going mainstream. He's retweeting Brad Garlinghouse's tweet that we showed you the other day. Love that crypto is going mainstream, but the environmental impact went way up, especially if you only support energy-heavy assets. XRP was built specifically to use negligible amounts of energy. In good news, there's a tool to decarbonize emissions for any blockchain, and he's linking to this website. I didn't really look that close into that. It's just anytime he tweets, I like to tell you about it. And here's another instance where he tweets. Speaking of the FUD, this is a tweet, and I'm not going to focus on this too much, because I don't like to highlight when I know someone's up to something. But this person tweeted this out, and it's like a 4-part tweet where they're trying to scare everybody about XRP. Okay. But what's important to me, and when I see things like this, I like to sit back. There are a lot of people in the XRP community, as well as, of course, David Schwartz, who are very technically minded, which is not my bag. So what I do is I sit back and I wait for the people that I know more than any of these people that are sending out random tweets to weigh in before I really make my judgment. And so here, this guy basically was comparing XRP to gas for like Ethereum. And he's basically saying all XRP. I'll read this part. The theory makes too much sense, and I can't ignore the fact, says, after pondering this, I can no longer hold XRP. As of tonight, I've sold all my X. So, when I see something like this, it's automatically red flags for me, because if I'm feeling something like this, why are you going to put that in a tweet unless you've got some other motive? Just sell it. If you don't believe in it, that's fine. Just sell it. But anyway, here's what David Schwartz came in and said. He says, XRP has a huge advantage as a liquidity source between issued assets on the XRPL, auto bridging, and universality. Everyone can accept XRP, amplified by the ability to place multiple offers to sell the same XRP, which most exchanges don't allow. Say you place an offer to go between two issued assets. That will be useful primarily to people going between those exact two assets in the other direction. But if you place an offer to trade for an issued asset for XRP, that will be useful to anyone going into or out of that issued asset because of auto bridging. So your offer is much more likely to be taken. That makes XRP more useful and liquid on the ledger. So I think he pretty much just gave that guy a gut punch. So those are always fun to watch. Now, Elon Musk tweeted this out. There's several random things I was going to go through real quick for you. Elon Musk tweeted this out. Several thousand more Starlink beta participation invitations going out this week. So this is that Starlink is about to start signing people up to put these little satellite dishes on your home, I guess. And then you'll be able to get your internet from these low orbit satellites they've been putting out there. The same satellites that I believe they've got nodes for Bitcoin or XRP or some of these different assets on. Or they're going to put them on there, even if they're not yet. Central Bank of Ireland, ECB has launched a public consultation to get your views on issuing a digital euro and its possible design. The digital euro would not replace cash, but complement it. Find out more and have your say until the 12th of January 2021. So it's like every country now is talking about issuing digital currencies. So let's go along here. Look at this. The chief economist of the IMF says we are in a global liquidity trap. It's significant. It's a Financial Times article. For the first time in 60% of the global economy, 97% of advanced economies, central banks, policy interest rates are below 1%. The world is in a global liquidity trap. Fiscal policy will need to be the main game in town. And remember the clip I showed you from a long time ago with Chris Larson, where he said in the next financial crisis, he said it at Money 2020, he said in the next financial crisis, he thinks that XRP could help in a liquidity problem, right? Okay. Next, Swift is pleased to announce that group's assessment that we are prioritizing the creation of an API platform that will give our members the flexibility to both consume and create the best products and services available as a part of our open and secure financial services community. And then we've got this from RizXRP, interoperability. This is from payments, the payments handle. This is Kevin Fallon, head of global business solutions at Visa. Listen to this.
Depending upon the use case, depending upon the corporate need, depending upon the market you're supporting, different rails make sense and they move data appropriately. And so fundamentally, as we think about it, the interoperability of rails will continue to increase. They're going to be important. And I think you will see some level of standardization with the new ISO format and the like, which will drive some of those standards. But beyond that, I think there's not a need to go to one set of rails. I think as long as we have interoperability and we solve for the problems of our corporates, we'll be in a much better place.
There's that word again, interoperability. It keeps coming up. Now, this is something we haven't heard much out of Raised in Space in a while, but I saw this tweet. I thought I would at least show you. If you don't remember, Scooter Braun, who's a guy out, I think in LA, a while back, I believe it was Spring invested in this Raised in Space with these guys. And so this is like an update. It's been a while since we've done a Raised in Space update. They've been quietly investing. According to partners, they're building the ultimate music offering for the world of video games. And then we've got this. Now, this is interesting right here. I wanted to go over this with you. From CoinDesk, opinion, let Europe, Sweden, the UK, or Canada become guinea pigs for this new technology and then closely monitor the many political, legal, and technological problems these early adopters inevitably encounter. And so we've seen a lot over the last month or two about Ripple and saying that China's way out in front of the U.S. and all of this. And I've told you over and over and over, China is not ahead of the U.S. That, for whatever reason, that is, or I don't believe that. But for whatever reason, that is the narrative that we are seeing, is that China's ahead and the U.S. just, they're just not there yet and all that. Well, if you've been around for a little while, you see it's not, in my opinion, that the U.S. is behind, but this offers a take on it that I found kind of interesting. And take note that it's by this guy, John Paul Koning. Okay, remember that name, J.P. Koning. Because here's his article. It says, is America left behind? China is on the verge of issuing a central bank digital currency while America twiddles its thumbs. Okay. And I've made a similar reference. I've said, so we're supposed to believe that America has just been sitting on its hands and watching from the sidelines as China's doing this. And I think this guy may be hitting it on the head here. He says, America needn't worry. While it may look like a slacker, its approach to digital currency is probably right. The right one. And basically what he's saying in this article is that, let's see, no first mover advantage, but when you get down here, he says risky business. A classic strategy in bicycle racing is to let others lead. The burden of breaking wind resistance falls on the leaders while followers conserve energy. This same analogy applies to traveling down the risky road to CBDC. To begin with, we don't know what the effects of issuing a CBDC might have on the traditional banking system. Some economists worry that it will magnify banking runs during crisis as panicking depositors flee banks into 100% safe central bank digital currency. Nor do we know if the public even wants a new payment system. Finland's central bank introduced the advanced smart card system in the early 90s, but it didn't survive. So anyway, he's basically floating the idea here that maybe they've been holding back intentionally to see what problems crop up from these countries that think they're leading the way, and letting them lead the way for that reason. But let me tell you what's interesting to me. One thing that's mentioned in here that made me think of something. Some economists, right here, it says some economists worry that it will magnify banking runs during crises as panicking depositors flee banks into 100% safe central bank digital currency. Okay, what that reminds me of, you remember we've shown it several times on this channel. Do you remember when Brad Garlinghouse was at that Swiss banking summit and every central banker from the world was in that room? Well, there was a long video. There was I think it was over an hour video that gave all the presentations of all those people. And then Brad Garlinghouse did a slideshow. And one of the people in that room, I swear I remember one of the people in that room specifically asked Brad Garlinghouse this question: if there could be a bank run on XRP, like that was one of the core concerns, is could there be a bank run? And don't quote me, but I'm almost positive I remember that they asked him if there could be, and if anybody's listening to my voice and you have that clip where they ask if there could be bank runs on XRP, I'm pretty positive that was a clip, but that's what this reminded me of. It's almost like there may have been a plan all along, folks. Now, this JP, here's another thing I found interesting. This guy, when I saw his name and he wrote this, I was like, that guy reminds me. I remember him. Okay. And the reason I remember him is because he was covering, ironically, he was covering XRP and Ripple at the very birth of the currency. He literally wrote this, birth of a currency. Welcome to the world, XRP. He was there at the very beginning. This guy, JP. Now, what's interesting is it wasn't just him that was there, but if you read his article, this is from March 3rd, 2013. He says right here, he says, click through last week's post or read this very well-written article from Bitcoin Magazine. In other words, to find out more about this. Well, what happens when you click on that? You get an article called Introducing Ripple from Bitcoin Magazine, February 27th of 2013, written by none other than the creator of Ethereum, who slept on Stefan Thomas's couch at Ripple and then went off to create Ethereum. It's a very small world, and all the players in the game seem to have been all around in this one little circle for all this time, folks. There are no coincidences, and all the world is a stage. Remember that. Now, what else did J.P. Koning do? He wrote the R3 report from back, what was the date on this? November 15th, 2016. He wrote the R3 report called FedCoin, a central bank issued cryptocurrency. Same guy wrote this. And when you go, I read this to you a week or two ago, when you go to page 6, an alternative way to create FedCoin would be to pre-allocate the entire supply of tokens, say 100 trillion FedCoin. Ripple set the precedent for 100% pre-allocation. It is at its inception, the entire 100 billion supply of XRP. I read all this to you the other day. So anyway, he wrote that just by coincidence, right? XRP Bart sent me this. Ripple tweeted this today. We believe voting should be safe and accessible to everyone, everywhere. That's why Ripple is 100% in for democracy with civil alliance. Now, I'm not going to go any further into that, but it's just Ripple. This is just one of those things where Ripple is tries to be involved in, charity and other type of things. Okay. Then finally, from the Daily Hodl, Bitcoin far outperforms gold and S&P 500 as U.S. election approaches. eToro Crypto Roundup. All right. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family that the election is tomorrow. And regardless of how you feel here in the United States about who you want or whatever, you still should go out and vote. Thanks for listening.